Hey guys, welcome out to the shop today. We got a old lawnmower in here today, and it's one of my buddies, and he wants to get this thing running back in operation. It hasn't ran in about 2 years, so we're gonna go over it, give it a tune up, and see why it stopped running. He also said that when it was running, it would scalp one side of the yard as he was going through. So we'll check obviously the height of the deck and see what else we can find, if anything that is wrong with this thing. Let's go ahead and look at this mower. So today we've got this mower. It's a Simplicity 738, and I really like the look of this. The bug eyes on the front are awesome. I like those lights. This mower is in very good condition for its age. The seat has a little tear on it right there, but other than that, it's in really good condition. And here it is with the top off. Like I said, I can't get over these lights. Those are so awesome. But it's got, you know, your typical fuel filter, fuel shut off. It's got points on it. We'll look at the air filter. We'll change the oil. Pretty much we're going to do a tune-up. It hasn't ran. We're going to look at this wiring right here. He said that it keeps coming out while he's mowing, so we'll look at that, see if we can get that repaired, and see what we can get into with this. Yeah, I like it. It's a nice looking mower. It's got a lot of different setups here in the control area. It's actually got a 3-speed that you have to shift. So you got first, reverse all the way to the left. There's a clutch right there. Your what do you call it? The deck height is right here. And then I think you can lower and raise it with this as well. And then over on this side, you have your PTO, and then you have your parking brake right here. And it's crazy because there's like no safety stuff on this whatsoever. No safety seat switches. That thing doesn't even come up. You can hop off. You can leave this thing running in forward gear and just keep on going and not even have to worry about it. So I'm going to jump on this thing and see what happens. Alright. It's got a nice little footrest things right here that you got to put your feet on. Alright, so we got our choke and our speed right here in the middle. We're just going to try to crank it over. I don't think you have to have the clutch on, but we'll try. The choke goes on. And there's nothing. There's even on the little battery display on the front, which is cool. I like having that the battery has the amperage on here. It's got absolutely no power whatsoever. So we're gonna go ahead and replace the battery real quick. Alright, now that we got the new battery in here, let's see if it'll do anything. Alright, choke is on. Let's go with it. That's awesome. Starts right up on the first try. It didn't need anything, any kind of help or anything. With a new battery, it was ready to run. But we are gonna get like a little tune-up going on this, change out the oil, check the belts, things like that, because I think that he really wants to run this around his yard and use this. So we're gonna make sure that everything works great. It's got fresh oil in it. We'll check on the air filter, stuff like that, and then we'll give it back to him and let him play with it. The oil drain is right here, the oil fill is right here, and to get this out, it's gonna pour all over this little foot pedal. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I don't know if you guys remember the last debacle I had with the oil drain, that I poured oil all over the deck of the last mower. But what we're gonna do is go ahead and take this foot pedal off right here, and then I think that once it drains, it'll actually run straight out, and then I can put a pan underneath it right there. So we're gonna take it off, and the way you take it off is this bolt right here, and that foot pedal should just come right off. I'm hoping that's what is the only thing. Nope. What else is holding this on it? Ah, it's on a whole entire shaft. Ah, okay. So we're gonna have to figure something out to kind of, I guess, help guide the oil out of this thing, because it's just gonna make a mess. And I don't see another oil drain anywhere on this. What do you guys think? You guys think this is gonna work, or you think it's gonna fail? You guys have any ideas or suggestions for draining these better? I can't really come up with any ideas. Oof, that thing is stuck on there. Let me try a smaller one. And we don't know when the last time this has actually had its oil changed. So I'm ready to grab some rags just in case it starts pouring out everywhere, but I'm hoping that I have it guided into this oil pan. I really need to find a new way to do this though, or a better way. Well, it's working. The oil is running out of there. Probably have a little bit of cleanup to do, but hopefully it won't be much. We'll go ahead and pop. Oh, am I gonna be able to get that loose? There we go, now it's flowing good. While we are letting the oil drain out of this, we will go ahead and pop the air filter cover off, and we'll check that. Remember, one of the things about wanting to repair smaller engines and stuff is trying to be as efficient and quick as possible while doing the job right still. So while that's draining, we're checking the air filter. We could replace the fuel filter, things like that. So you got to always be thinking about what extra things you can do. Oh, that came all the way off. Alright, so let me pop this loose. Surprisingly, this is not that bad. It's wrapped all around the edge though. Probably blow this out and then have one get ordered for it. I don't have one this style. This is all foam. But, you know, that's not that bad actually, so that's good. Oh, other way. So that's what it's looking like right now. It's got some dirtiness to it, but that's not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and get this blown out. We can probably just reuse this. So since we have the air filter off, I want to go ahead and clean out that carburetor. I know it ran, but he said that it stalls after a while. So one of the things that could be is that the main jet in there could be bad. And I just want to clean it up, see what's in there. And I have to get this piece off right here, this little cover off the exhaust, so I can get to one of these little mounting bolts. And there's a bolt right here in the bottom. Zoom in up for you guys. So there's a bolt right here that is holding that cover on. And you want to take a 1/2-inch wrench and break that loose, and it probably will just swing right out of the way. This is the same deal, it's just a 1/2-inch. So this one will come all the way off, and then the other side, it should swing around. I'm saying it should. Looks like the spark plug probably needs to get replaced too. It is looking quite old. There's a washer. Alright, so just like I thought, we can get it swung around. It took a little bit more than I wanted to though. And now we can go ahead and get the carburetor and the intake off. We gotta get all the linkage off and stuff like that too. Oh, I can't see. Alright, so we got the carburetor over here on the bench, and it's got a bunch of fuel in it still. So what I really want to do with this is just get the bowl off and get this whole entire thing cleaned up and make it so that we can get it running smooth again and hopefully have no more further issues with it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the parts washer real quick and just get all the stuff cleaned up off of it, and then we'll work on it. So here it is cleaned up. It's got some old paint on there and just some where it's been heated up, stuff like that or whatever. So, but for the most part, everything came clean. All the linkages are nice and really free on this, which is impressive. So now we're gonna go ahead and take it apart and see what we can get into with this. So you have to have a 1/2-inch wrench to get the fuel ball off. Just like on every other carburetor. And if you start messing with things, remember how many times you turn things. Like this right here, this is your main jet. So you have to remember how many times you turn it if you want to turn it out. And this is what helps control your fuel. Your float bowl. It's not too bad. It's a little dirty, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the parts washer real quick. And here it is after the parts washer. It's got a little bit of rust in the very bottom, but for the most part it's in really good shape. We got our float right here. All the seal looks good. So what I'm gonna do, let me see if I can get this out real quick. I need some pliers. So what I'm going to do is pull the knee of the pin out. And there's your needle. It's got like a little spring on it. That's cool. On with that. So 1, 2. That's getting stuck. Bigger, something with a little bit more meat. If it starts to stick, don't completely try to take it out, because you don't want to tear this up on the inside, because once it goes past a certain point, if you tear it up, I mean, it's just trash. You'd have to get a new one. But this one, there we go. Alright, so this is your main jet area. Your little... So we're going to get our cleaning kit. That's where my piece was. So we're going to get our little cleaning kit for the carburetor with all the little pipes and stuff like that on there, and we're gonna take and we're gonna put it through the holes, just making sure everything is cleaned out. Nothing will be clogging this up at all. This is very straightforward too, guys. This is not hard whatsoever. So with this old of a carburetor, you also have some adjustments on the top, and I've already taken this one off, and we're going to take this one off as well. Make sure that I get all the ports clean. This one had 2 extra ports as well, so you just want to make sure that all your stuff is clean before you're going to go ahead and put it right back on the machine, or else it's pointless. One, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put this on the machine. We've gotten everything cleaned up, all the jets taken care of. So now it is time to reinstall. I've been working on getting this all put back together, and as you can see, the carburetor is back on. I changed out that fuel filter, like I said. All the fuel lines are attached. This is nice and solid. We had to bolt the other piece on, and then working up through here. These bolts are very specific to where they gotta go, because there were 2 that were very close in length. That one went right here, one went right there, and then one held on the exhaust. 2 of them were very close, and then one was like just very short, like just a little bit shorter, and it actually did not work up here, but they all looked alike. So I think it had like a little bit of a different tip on it, and that's what I figured that out. So everything's put back together, and all we got to do left is put some oil in there. And as you can see, there's not much oil that ran onto the deck, which is good. Nothing really underneath, so the paper worked, and I'm gonna get that filled up, and then we'll try to fire this over. Well, that's not good. Lost all my battery voltage. So with one of these, you have to, after I've taken all the stuff off the carburetor, now I'm going to probably have to play with it a little bit to make it kind of dialed in. So I think you guys can hear the mower running in the background. I got it running outside, just idling. It turns out that whenever I put the main jet back in, I had it off by like about a rotation and a half. So I went ahead and corrected that, and then I was able to adjust the needle that went into the main jet a little bit. So when the mower got brought in here, whenever I went and put the throttle in the low position, it would just cut off. It would just die. It wasn't getting enough fuel. So I have it in the low position right now, and it's actually idling. Here it is, idling in low position. Goes all the way off. So that's it. I got the mower, I did a tune-up on it, and I even checked the ride height of the deck, and I took a measuring tape and tried to check it, and they weren't off. Both sides hit the exact same. Went ahead and pumped up the tire and mowed a few passes around my yard, and I didn't have any uneven cuts. So I think maybe it may have been like an air pressure with the tires. So I'll check again. I'm gonna go ahead and run this around the yard some more later and just double check it. I always try to run it and then go ahead and run it later after it's been sitting a little while, making sure that everything's still okay. So that's it, guys. That is the Simplicity 738 mower, all ready to cut some more yards over the next 30 years like it's been doing so far. I don't know how old this thing is, but it seems pretty old. This was the first time that I really ever had to mess around with a carburetor like this, so that was interesting that I had to do. But we replaced the fuel filter and it runs good now. Starts right up. I like it, and it's really fast. The 3-speed shifter, if you aren't careful and you put in the 3rd speed, it'll take off and throw you off the back of the mower. So I like it. It's a good little mower, and I'm sure my buddy's going to get a lot more use out of it now. So thanks, guys, for watching today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and especially working on one of these older machines. It was really cool. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing it. If you guys did, give it that thumbs up button. If you guys are new, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that thumbs up button. Wait, I mean the bell. That way you guys can get all the notifications for when I post videos, which is every Wednesday and Sunday. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on the next project.